Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we'll be highlighting American celebrities who have passed away today and in the past few days, along with other notable figures from around the world. Before we proceed, we kindly ask you to show your love and support by giving this video a like. It truly means a lot to us. Thank you. And now, let's begin.
It's harder, but look what I'm doing now. Couldn't ask for anything better.
The silver screen feels a little less bright today as we say goodbye to the luminous Valerie Perrine. The Oscar-nominated star of Lenny and our beloved Eve Teschmacher from the original Superman films has peacefully passed away at the age of 82. This heartbreaking news was shared by her devoted friend, Stacy Souther, who confirmed that Valerie breathed her last at home on March 23, 2026. She was surrounded by love, exactly as she had wished, after a quiet yet incredibly courageous 15-year battle with Parkinson's disease and central tremors. Valerie's journey was nothing short of legendary. She began as a daring Vegas showgirl before capturing the heart of Hollywood. Her career reached a pinnacle in 1974, when her raw, vulnerable performance in Lenny earned her Best Actress at Cannes and a seat at the Academy Awards. For many of us, she will forever be the sensuous yet innocent woman who stood by Lex Luthor, bringing a unique charm to the Superman era that defined a generation. Beyond the glamour, Valerie's life was a masterclass in resilience. She famously narrowly escaped the tragic Manson family murders in 1969 and navigated the highs and lows of show business with a rare, unyielding spirit. Even after her diagnosis in 2015, she never once complained, choosing instead to face her illness with incredible compassion. Her 2022 documentary, Valerie, remains a magnificent love letter to her life, a final gift to the fans who never stopped loving her. Valerie Perrine was a true inspiration who lived life to the very fullest. As those closest to her noted, the world feels less beautiful without her in it. She leaves behind a legacy of grace, leaving us with memories of a woman who was as vivacious as she was brave. Rest in peace, Valerie. Your light will never truly fade.
Completely protected on set because I played it. So no one's ever hit on me.
Next, our hearts remain heavy as we say a tender goodbye to another cherished talent. Carrie Anne Fleming, the beloved heart of the supernatural family, has tragically passed away at just 51 years old. Her representative confirmed the somber news, sharing that Carrie died peacefully with her loved ones in Canada on February 26, 2026. She had been on a private, courageous journey following a breast cancer diagnosis, facing her final days with the same quiet grace she shared with the world throughout her life. Carrie's journey began in the early 90s with a memorable breakout in the 1996 hit Happy Gilmore. She soon became a staple as a horror TV star, most famously playing the soulful Karen Singer in Supernatural starting in 2005, a role that made her the eternal heart of the singer home for fans everywhere. But Carrie's true strength was found off-screen as a steel magnolia. Despite the weight of her illness, she remained a powerhouse of vitality with a personality that had no off switch. Her dear friend Jim Beaver fondly recalls their met-cute on set, where they discovered a miracle of fate. Both had daughters named Madeline Rose. This bond turned colleagues into a lifelong family, proving her rapturous laugh was a light that never dimmed, even in the shadows of her hardest battle. Knowing Carrie was a great privilege. She leaves behind an inspiring soul and a legacy of over 60 roles that touched us all. Rest in peace, Carrie. The world feels a little less bright without your utterly adorable and kind presence.
I was born Mary, and Louise was my mother's best friend, Louise Buckman, so I was named after her.
She is the undisputed queen of Hollywood, a woman crowned with 3 Academy Awards and the adoration of millions. Yet the very heart that breathed life into cinema's most iconic roles was once completely shattered on a cold hospital bed, desperately begging a dying man to stay just a little longer. Do you remember the first time her performance brought tears to your eyes? Whether it was watching her as the fiercely protective mother in Kramer versus Kramer, feeling the suffocating weight of her impossible reality in Sophie's Choice, or sensing the agonizing longing in the Bridges of Madison County, we watched her conquer the screen, believing she was untouchable. But behind the blinding flash of cameras, she walked through unimaginable grief. While we applauded her triumphs, she secretly bore the unbearable, watching the absolute love of her youth succumb to terminal cancer. And years later, she endured the silent, agonizing collapse of a 40-year marriage the whole world believed was a perfect Hollywood fairy tale. Before the world knew her as the saint of cinema, she was just a girl from Summit, New Jersey, trying to find her voice. Born in 1949 into a perfectly steady middle-class family, she found the quiet suburban life suffocating. At 12 years old, she began formal vocal training, not for fame, but simply to breathe. When she arrived at the prestigious Yale School of Drama, she wasn't the obvious star. Instructors found her reserved, and classmates thought she lacked wild theatrical flair. But instead of arguing, she observed. She memorized lines late into the night and quietly did the heavy lifting. Then came the late 1970s, and the silver screen was never the same. In 1978, she broke through as a gentle anchor in The Deer Hunter and won her first Emmy for the miniseries Holocaust. Just a year later, she shattered our hearts in Kramer versus Kramer, winning her first Academy Award. By 1982, she had isolated herself to learn Polish and German for Sophie's Choice. That agonizing, impossible choice on screen earned her a second Oscar. Refusing to be boxed into heavy tragedies, she evolved. She captured the profound ache of middle age in The Bridges of Madison County, became a terrifying pop culture icon in The Devil Wears Prada, and transformed into Margaret Thatcher for The Iron Lady, winning a third Oscar. She shattered Hollywood's age limits, remaining unstoppable. But when the theater lights dimmed, a devastating storm was tearing her world apart. What happens when the person who finally makes you feel safe is handed a death sentence? For Meryl, true love began quietly in 1976 with actor John Cazale. Sharing a drafty Tribeca apartment, they built a profound connection away from the cameras. He was the man who made the cerebral Meryl fall completely silent and just listen. But fate is merciless. In 1977, during the filming of The Deer Hunter, John was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. When the panicked studio wanted to fire him, Meryl went to war. She pleaded with directors to shoot his scenes first, confessing, "I didn't know if he'd make it." To pay his mounting medical bills, she took any role she could, flying off to film Holocaust. Exhausted and fragile, she rushed back to his cold hospital room every single night. By March 1978, the battle was lost. Though when John took his final breath, she wept uncontrollably on his chest. With his last strength, he whispered, "You'll be okay," before taking a massive piece of her heart to the grave. She tried to heal, eventually marrying sculptor Don Gummer. For decades, they were Hollywood's ultimate symbol of stability, raising 4 children. But even the strongest fortresses crumble. By 2017, the marriage was quietly failing. Not from scandal, but from the tragic drifting of 2 people realizing the space between them had grown too vast. For 6 long years, she carried this deep fracture in absolute secrecy. When their separation was finally confirmed in October 2023, It was an aching loss. She had lost the passionate love of her youth to a cruel disease and watched the steady anchor of her old age slowly slip into the fog.